Good morning, students. Again we have assembled here for a new class. Today I am not going to discuss a particular topic, rather I will discuss the NCERT based exercise from chapter 6, life processes. After that I will discuss regarding the important diagrams from the chapter 7, means control and coordination. So, diagram practice. Truly speaking, these days I am really missing the school environment. That's why today the question answer discussion in this way, that I will discuss in interactive mode. I will ask you some related questions, try to solve those. Once you complete this session, you will get a thorough knowledge from chapter 6 and chapter 7, those diagram types. Okay, so let's start it. The first question from chapter 6, NCERT exercise. The kidneys in human beings are a part of which system? Nutrition, respiration, excretion or transportation? Very simple answer, it's from excretion. Now the related things. What is excretion? If I ask you, what will be your answer? Excretion means the removal of the body waste, but it's not proper. Not only the body waste, rather you will say the metabolic wastes. That's why you are not including the fecal material. Through the metabolism within the cell, whatever the nitrogenous related wastes are coming, like urea, creatinine or CO2 related products, those release is the excretion. Human beings are having one pair of kidney. Those kidneys, the unit of excretion name is nephron. Already you got the note regarding that also. So nutrition, option A. Regarding nutrition, the digestive system is more related to this nutrition. In respiration, which part? Which system related? Our lung, respiratory system. Both the lung with the alveoli, the trachea. Okay. What is transportation? Means the circulatory system. That part. Blood circulatory system in human. If it's a plant, then the translocation. Right? So hopefully already we know all these terms. So let's move on to the next. The xylem in plants are responsible for A. Transport of water, B. Transport of food, C. Transport of amino acids, strictly no, D. Transport of oxygen. So your answer is, of course, A. Transport of water. Now if I ask you, with water what's more? It's the minerals. Transport of water, and within the water there are the minerals. Those things. And transport of food by xylem or phloem? By phloem. Which part? Sieve tube, companion cells, those. So in this way, xylem and phloem are responsible for transportation of water, food. The process name is translocation. Question 3. The autotrophic mode of nutrition requires, read the options. Very easy, all the above. CO2 with the help of stoma, through diffusion we know that they will take water through roots. Chlorophyll means within the chloroplast. Within the thylakoid, you can remember the grana, there is the chlorophyll A, B. Chlorophyll A is the main pigment. And here the metal name is, yes, manganese or magnesium. It's magnesium, right? So sunlight in the form of the photon particles. So all these things needed for the autotrophic mode of nutrition, especially photosynthesis. The breakdown of pyruvate to keep CO2, water, energy takes place. Read carefully. Breakdown of pyruvate. So from glucose to pyruvate, that process is named as glycolysis. That's in cytoplasm. Next part, Krebs cycle, where from immense energy come, and carbon dioxide, water. So that part in mitochondria. Process name is Krebs cycle, right? Or TCA, tricarboxylic acid cycle. Here pyruvate too, we are breaking pyruvate to release these things. Especially aerobic or anaerobic, of course it's the aerobic mode of respiration. How are fats digested in our bodies? Where does this process take place? It's a explanation based question. So fat, first come to the fat. Among three types of the energy we are taking, lipid or fat, protein and carbohydrate, fat digestion is most critical. So fat digestion not done in our mouth, not in esophagus, not in the stomach, rather it starts after pancreatic juice comes, after the alkaline secretion with the bile juice comes. So it starts in the small intestine, right? With the help of what? Already I told, bile juice. Where from coming? The gallbladder. Source is liver. Why needed? From the stomach, food, whatever is coming, that's acidic. So it should be converted to the alkaline form, right? And fats are broken in smaller droplets, smaller globules. Name is micelles. Okay, so here only the main thing. I discussed so many things, but you also can write only this much. Fats are digested in the small intestine. The secretion of liver called bile breaks down the large globule of fat into smaller globules, means micelles. That process is known as emulsification. The bile also makes the medium alkaline, so that pancreatic enzyme containing lipase, further digest fats to form fatty acid. So fat will be broken to fatty acid and glycerol. The alkaline medium is required for pancreatic enzyme to act on lipase. Second part answer, this process takes place in small intestine. Always write in means two parts in a question if there. Mention these two parts separately. If you only write the first part, only will get answer mark for the first part. Always try to make paragraph and you maintain this with clear handwriting. If I ask you which part of the small intestine is responsible, it's duodenum, not jejunum or ileum, it's duodenum. Next, what is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? Saliva means salivary enzyme from three pairs of salivary glands, like some names like parotid, submandibular, whatever. So they are from salivary secretion that will digest food. Which food? Protein? No. Lipids? Of course not. Only carbohydrate. Carbohydrate will be broken to the simpler components, monosaccharide, that is going to be absorbed by our cell. Saliva contains enzyme salivary amylase and it is released in our mouth. It breaks down starch into sugar complex to simpler ones. Can you remember this? Starch, salivary amylase in alkaline pH, maltose. On maltose, maltase will work. That can be done in the next parts, means in the small intestine part. So maltase will work on maltose to break in simple sugar. Okay, who wants more? For them, the first part only for all. What are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition and what are the products, byproducts? Very simple. For autotrophic nutrition, necessary condition that MCQ also you can remember. Light, CO2, water, and chlorophyll should be there. Water splits to release oxygen and hydrogen. The process is photolysis. Remember this, photolysis. Breaking in presence of light, photolysis. Water splitted to H plus, OH minus. H plus ion will reduce that NADP and OH will release the O2. Right? That hydrogen with NADP making NADPH, or directly you can say that hydrogen combines with CO2 to form the glucose. Byproduct means not the main product. Main product is the glucose. To form glucose we are getting the extra things. So byproduct is oxygen which is coming through the stomach. Okay. So here also see two parts of the question and you are supposed to write in 2 paragraphs. So question, what are the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Name some organisms that use the anaerobic mode of respiration. So aerobic means in presence of free O2, anaerobic means O2 not present. Anaerobic can be means it can be obligatory, means mandatory, or it can be facultative, means depends. If oxygen it gets, it will use oxygen. If oxygen not there, it does not need oxygen. Whatever. Here we need to separate aerobic and anaerobic. You also got this in your respiration based video. There you got it. In note you got it once more. So first this aerobic respiration and anaerobic, this part you should write in the first half. Takes place in presence of oxygen and anaerobic absence of O2. And in aerobic, point 2, product CO2 and water. Anaerobic product ethanol, CO2 depends, or lactic acid. Aerobic more energy released, anaerobic less energy. For glucose therefrom we know for one pathway only 2 ATP. Aerobic in cytoplasm and mitochondria, anaerobic only in cytoplasm. Aerobic complete oxidation of glucose, anaerobic incomplete oxidation. Examples of anaerobic yeast bacteria like Clostridium, like actinomyces. So many names are there. You can add or you can only say yeast bacteria. That's all. Okay. Now question 9. How are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? So these are structures, sac-like, balloon-like structures. It is designed in this way, it's inflated so that it can clearly come in contact with the blood, with the O2, with the CO2, and it can do the exchange properly, right? So your answer is, the alveoli are present at the terminal of the bronchioles. Try to remember each term. Trachea will divide into bronchioles, no, bronchi, primary, secondary, tertiary bronchi, then bronchioles. They are balloon-shaped structures which increase the surface area for the exchange of gases and richly supplied with blood vessels, thin blood vessels, to take the oxygen to different cells, right? So in this exchange of gases, either oxygen or CO2 from the vein or artery, using these two, it can do this action or activity, right? Next, what would be the consequence of a deficiency of hemoglobin in our bodies? Hemoglobin, very crucial, important question and important thing. Hemoglobin is a kind of the we'll say what, the pigment like structures as in the chlorophyll. So it's also hemoglobin, a protein structure where globin part is the protein, heme part means the iron is there, hemoglobin. That helps to bind the oxygen. It will form the oxyhemoglobin. It can also bind with the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So it can make the carbaminohemoglobin, the carboxyhemoglobin. So hemoglobin main thing is needed to bind with the oxygen. It's iron part, most important. So this one, if not in proper means amount, so it can't bind with the oxygen. So if oxygen is not there, we are not getting enough amount of the oxygen to reach our cell. So in all the metabolic processes are going to be disturbed. So we can face the anemia also. Anemia means a condition where we are facing problem due to the deficiency of the hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin is a red pigment present in our blood which carries oxygen to all the parts of the body. If there is deficiency of hemoglobin, then amount of oxygen reaching our body cells will decrease, which may lead to release of less energy in our body to cause a disease, anemia. So kind of the problems, breathing problem, tiredness, weakness are symptoms of the anemia. So these are the problems we can face. Now we are moving to the question number 11. Describe the double circulation in human beings, and second part is why is it necessary. So first part answer, describe the double circulation in human beings. First we need to state what is double circulation. Means twice here blood moves, but here also we need to depict the diagram. It's very important. Either this with arrows, okay, pulmonary artery to lung, pulmonary vein from lungs, vena cava from body, or aorta to body, this with arrows, or this one, the schematic one. Now the write up, it's double circulation as it consists of systemic and pulmonary circulation, and blood moves twice in heart. Body cells to heart and vice versa is known as systemic circulation, and lung to heart and vice versa, that's called pulmonary circulation. Now change the paragraph. The second part answer. Why is it necessary? As human beings need more energy to do the activities and to maintain body temperature. We are homeothermic, warm-blooded. So we need more energy and need separation of oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood. That's why in human beings double circulation needed, not in all. Question 12. What are the differences between transport of materials in xylem and phloem? Transport in xylem, always write differences with column, never forget. Transport in xylem, that one is water and mineral salts are transported. Transport in phloem, food in aqueous form is translocated. Point 2. The transport is generally passive, means it does not need the ATP. It's towards the gradient, and here the transport is active, means against the gradient, so here ATP needed. Transport of xylem with the trachea, so actually the dead cells, means the vessels, trachea and trachea, here sip tube and companion cells, and those are of course the living cells. So write down these differences in your classwork copy properly with good handwriting so that we can read out. Compare the functioning of alveoli in lungs and nephrons in the kidneys with respect to structure and functioning. Here one important point, always remember, it's comparison. It's not difference. So here you need to compare It can be similarity, it can be dissimilarity, but compare those. Alveoli, structural and functional unit of lung. Nephron, structural and functional unit of kidney. Alveoli, thin-walled, has a large surface area and is richly supplied with blood vessels. Nephron, it is thin-walled, has a large surface area and it's richly also supplied with blood vessels. 3. It removes the CO2 from the blood, whereas nephron, it removes the nitrogenous waste from the blood. So both of them, to some extent, alveoli also doing the excretory action. So that's question 13, the last question from your NCERT exercise. So we have done our exercise solution with the in-text question answer already provided. Today NCERT you have done. Also from 5 subtopics, these 5 subtopics I have provided you extra questions with answers and the notes. Once you go through the NCERT text, these 5 set of exercise questions with answer, the notes provided by me, the NCERT in-text question and NCERT exercise. That means now we are well prepared to face the board exam. From this chapter, those questions you can face, okay? So, this chapter related all the things done. Now I will move on to the next part, chapter. Here from 3 diagrams, 2 diagrams and 1 chart. You need to practice. Also I told in the previous video class a bit now this. This chart you can remember. Write down this chart. Human brain with that subdivision, forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Then forebrain to the telencephalon and diencephalon. With the parts cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. Then midbrain, superior, inferior colliculi means the vision and the auditory related function. And hindbrain, pons, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Pons means cranial nerves, that connection. Cerebellum, your body control. Medulla, your respiration center, your heartbeat center present here, and reflex action center. Your work, listen now very carefully. Write down this chart with the subparts name and mention at least one function of each one. Then you are done. Within the chart, with smaller text, just write down the function of each one. At least one function for each. For example, for cerebrum, only you can say memory or speech output in this way. This diagram, forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, which one where? Which one is corpus callosum? Where is thalamus, hypothalamus, pons, medulla, brainstem, cerebellum? All these things draw and label, because sometimes it also happens this diagram may not come, may be possible, but labelings may come. So practice and it will help you to understand the deeper knowledge, to get the deeper knowledge from this chapter. So reflex arc, very very important. This diagram with all the labelings, practice here. How receptor, they are from stimuli and then the sensory neuron will bring it. Then the dorsal root ganglia, they are for the relay neuron, will carry the message through the ventral root pathway to the motor neuron, this motor neuron to the effector muscle, and you are taking the decision for the certain action. That's reflex arc, that pathway and the reflex action, the activity. So up to this, your homework till this Friday, means today is Monday, you are getting it. Next Friday you will get the video class on the plant hormone. I am giving you time to accordingly prepare your lesson. Okay class? Bye. We'll again meet in the next class with a fresh mood. Okay, fine. Stay healthy, take care, and really thanks to all of you. Bye class.